What's up, YouTube? I hope each and every one of you guys are healthy and crushing all of your goals today. Today we are reviewing the 2023 Chevy Tahoe LS. Huge thank you to Paul Van Horn over at Koons, Tysons, Chevy, Buick, GMC for allowing me to do this review for you guys today. If you guys are interested in this particular Tahoe LS or any GM product with the exception of Cadillac, I'll be sure to have Paul's information on screen as well as in the description box down below. But with that said, let's get into the video. Today is one of those days where it's warm when the sun is out, but it's cold when the sun goes behind the clouds. The sun is behind the clouds right now, so it's a little bit chilly, but that's besides the point. Let's get right into the video and talk about the exterior and performance. And like I said, this is a 2023 Chevy Tahoe LS, and this particular one has been painted in black. But let's start over here at our headlights, then we'll work our way down and around to the back end of the Tahoe. So with the LS, you do get LED headlights with IntelliBeam. IntelliBeam is just a fancy way of saying automatic high beams. You also get LED daytime running lights as well as LED turn signals, and no front fog lights on the LS. So you can see right now the daytime running lights are on at the moment, and this is the same exact spot where your LED turn signals will activate. With the LS, you also do get a black upper and lower front grille that is separated by two chrome grille bars and your bow tie emblem. You also get two air ducts on both sides of your front end. So you got one right there and one right there as well for better aerodynamics, which hopefully leads to better fuel economy. So you can see it routes the air around your tires, again, hopefully for better aerodynamics. You also get four forward-facing sensors on the LS. So you got one here, 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 and there as well, and then a chrome trim piece towards the bottom of the front. And that pretty much sums up the entire front end. You also get a side marker light located on both sides of your front bumper. And then taking a look right here, this has the optional $800 20-inch machined aluminum wheels that are wrapped in 275/60 Continental Cross Contact LX20 tires. Give you guys a view of the tread pattern on those tires. You also get some carpet lining in here to hopefully get better acoustics on the interior, so basically a quieter ride. And then this is your front suspension, so you do get a front coil over shock with stabilizer bar front suspension, and then that's a look of your suspension. With the LS, you also get body color mirrors that are heated, power adjustable, and manual folding. And then I want to show you guys, you get a shark fin antenna above where the driver sits, and you get rain sensing wipers with the LS. While we are at the roof line, you do get bright roof rails, and then you get some black window trim on the top, and then you get some bright chrome window trim at the bottom. So it's kind of interesting. It's like black up top, chrome on the bottom, body color door handles with keyless access. You get Tahoe lettering on both front passenger doors, and then you get black assist steps with a chrome trim piece as standard with the LS. And let's talk about the rear suspension here for a second. So you do get a rear multi-link suspension with coil springs, and I can't really give you guys a view of the suspension unless I guess I went down under here, but still not the greatest view of the suspension. You get a capless filler neck with the LS as well. Then moving to the business end of the Tahoe, you get an LED third brake light. You also get a variable speed rear wiper, which is tucked up top of here. I'm not sure if the GoPro is going to pick it up. There you go. Now the GoPro picks it up. You also get LED taillights as well as chrome trim with your Chevy emblem. So this is kind of similar to what you would find on the front grille. You get those two bars, Chevy emblem, Tahoe lettering. Just below your Tahoe lettering, you have your rear view camera. You have a manual opening tailgate, so open this up, you got to pull it up yourself. Oh, so hard in the day and age of power lift gates. But then this is how much storage space you have at the back end. Opening this up, you get a little bit more storage space, and if you guys want to fold your third row seats, pull up on this, and then your third row seats drop. Same thing goes for this side. If you want to pull them back up, all you got to do is grab onto this strap and pull back up, and you know, that's about it. Here's a 120 volt household power outlet located on the passenger side of your rear trunk. And then you also have these hooks right here, as well as one there for some cargo tie downs or something like that. But you definitely have a lot more storage space in the rear end if you guys do fold your third row seats down. But that's about it. I like the height of which this goes up to. It's very easy to grab onto, so if you're shorter, you don't have to worry about it being too high. But that's about it for the rear end. I guess a couple more things that I will point out is that you do get 4 rear view sensors back here. 1, 2, 3, and 4, as well as 2 reflectors on your rear valence, and then another chrome trim piece on your rear valence. And then if you guys were wondering about the max tow capacity of this particular Tahoe LS, the max tow capacity is 7,700 pounds. But I'm curious to hear what you guys think of the 2023 Tahoe LS in the comment section down below. Towards the front end of this thing, the looks kind of remind me of the Tahoe RST in the fact that you get a black grille and no fog lights. Same thing on the RST. However, you do not get chrome grille bars on the RST, you get black grille bars. But really, that's about what separates that. And then I guess also on the RST, you can option for a forward-facing camera, whereas this one you cannot. So let me know what you guys think of the 2023 Tahoe LS in the comments down below. But with that out of the way, let's move into performance. Popping open that hood reveals that standard 5.3 liter V8 that makes 355 horsepower and 383 pound-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission for a 0 to 60 time in 6 seconds. If you guys were wondering about fuel economy, you can achieve 15 miles per gallon in the city, 20 miles per gallon on the highway for 17 miles per gallon combined with 4-wheel drive. If you guys don't want the 5.3 liter, the only other engine option that you can option on the LS is the 3 liter Duramax, which will definitely lead to better fuel economy. But again, you have to pay extra for the 3 liter Duramax, and diesel is more expensive than regular gasoline. But if you guys are enjoying the video so far today, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I'm really trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. So if you guys would take a second, give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But let's move into the interior. All right, guys, moving into the interior. Like I said, you do get keyless access. All you got to do is have your key fob in your pocket, walk up to the vehicle, press on this button right here, and the vehicle will unlock and or lock. And that button can be found on all 4 passenger door handles. But there are a couple things I wanted to show you guys that you can do with the key fob before we move into the interior. And this is one thing that I missed when we were on the exterior part of the video. So if I press this button once, or twice actually, the rear glass will open. So let's say you have a dog that you keep in the trunk and your dog wants some fresh air. All you got to do is open up this rear glass piece and your dog can breathe the fresh air. And that button can be found right here. So if you guys want to open that up, you can see your E, you find your button right there, and then that will open up your rear glass. Another thing I wanted to show you guys is that you do get remote start with the Tahoe LS as well. All you got to do is press the lock button and then press the button under the lock button twice, and the vehicle will fire up. You can hear the 5.3 liter roar to life. But let's move into the interior and let's see what the LS has to offer. So from here up, you get some jet black leather wrapping, you get a nicely padded armrest, you get some accent colored stitching, you get some wood trim, you get some aluminum trim, some more accent colored stitching up top here, aluminum door handle, aluminum trim piece surrounding your aluminum door handle, unlock and lock buttons. Here are your power mirror controls. Pressing on this button will restrict your passenger window privileges. You get automatic up and down windows for the driver and the front passenger. However, the rear passengers get automatic down windows only. It's a great spot right here to set a phone, and then some miscellaneous storage space at the bottom of your door panel. And then to get a great spot, you can set a smart water bottle. But you get an 8-way power driver seat. You get an 8-way power front passenger seat, which is very nice. Usually on a vehicle like this, you would get a power driver seat, but you would not get a power front passenger seat. However, this one has both power front seats. Pressing on this button will engage your electronic parking brake. This will turn lane keep assist on or off. This will turn traction control on or off. This will turn your parking sensors, both front and rear, on or off. This is auto stop start on or off. So I've talked about this in some of my other Tahoe / Suburban videos. You can see you have this little slot right here. So if you guys want to set your business cards in here, you can. If you guys want to set a debit card in there, you can. However, if you get like a RST or a Premier Tahoe and you get the heads-up display, this is where your heads-up display controls would be. So if you get the heads-up display, which you cannot get on the LS, then this is where those buttons would be. However, if you guys don't get the heads-up display like you don't have here, then you get a little credit card slot. So this is 4-wheel drive automatic, this is 4-wheel drive high, this is 2-wheel drive high, and I believe this is your off-road mode. So let's step into the interior. Like I said, you get keyless access, which obviously means you get push button start. Just make sure you have your key fob in the interior, push your foot down on the brake, and push the stop start button, and the vehicle comes to life. But I want to show you guys pressing on this button right here will select for high for terrain mode. So this is called terrain mode, and then this is your drive mode selector. Excuse that, I don't want to get a copyright strike, but this is your drive mode selector like I just mentioned, and twist this to the left and you got your different drive modes. So you got normal, sport, off-road, and tow haul mode. So those are your 4 different drive modes on the Tahoe LS. Pressing on this will dim your backlit gauges as well as your backlit buttons, and then this will brighten your backlit gauges as well as your backlit buttons. And then you get your headlight control stalk. So if I twist this to the left, that turns automatic light control off. Twist that one more time to the left, that turns automatic light control back on, which basically turns your headlights on or off automatically. Twist this one to the right, that keeps your daytime running lights on, and then twist that all the way to the right and that keeps your headlights always on. So I like to leave it in headlights automatic personally. And then let's take a look at our turn signal stalk. So let's take a listen to the turn signal. That's what the turn signal sounds like on the 2023 Tahoe. And then this is also your windshield wiper control stalk. So you can control the front windshield, you can control the rear windshield, as well as your high beams. So pulling back obviously turns your high beams on. Pressing this button right here will wash your front windshield. On the left-hand side of your steering wheel, you have these 2 buttons. So this is to tune up, this is to tune down, or you can go back and forth between different songs if you're connected to Bluetooth audio. On the right-hand side of the steering wheel, you have another 2 buttons, and this is to volume up, and then this bottom button down here is to volume down. On the left-hand side of your steering wheel, you get your cruise control settings as well as your gap adjust for like your forward collision alert. So you get your most sensitive mode, middle sensitive mode, and then your least sensitive mode. And then on the right-hand side of your steering wheel, this is to speak to the vehicle and or pick up on a phone call. This is to hang up on a phone call. And then you got this little scroll knobby thing here, and then these 2 buttons to control your 4.2-inch productivity screen, which is located right there. But I want to show you guys what the horn sounds like, so let's take a listen to the horn. That's what the horn sounds like on the 2023 Tahoe, and that was pretty loud because you can see we got that sound wall, so that leaves the sound around here and it echoes, so that's pretty funny. You get a leather wrapped steering wheel. And now let's go through our gauge cluster. Actually, one more thing before we go into our gauge cluster is that you do have a manual tilting and telescoping steering wheel, and this is to unlock your steering wheel to tilt and or telescope it. But now let's move into our gauge cluster. So on the left hand side of the gauge cluster, you have your RPM gauge. On the right hand side, you have your analog speedometer. At the center, again, this is your productivity screen. You got your digital speedometer readout, the ambient exterior temperature, current time, fuel range. You got your odometer. This thing has 8 miles on it. W means we're pointing in a westerly direction. And then this is 2-wheel drive. So obviously if you put it in 4-wheel drive, it'll let you know there. And then P is for park. And like I said, you can go throughout this screen. So you can go in between your different information stuff. You can go in between your different music stuff. You can go in between your different phone stuff and your different settings. So we'll go into info right here, and then we can go down. So I'm using this to go down and up. This is like your trip 1. This is trip 2. This is your fuel range. This is your oil life, tire pressure, air filter life, brake pad life, driver assistance stuff. You get a blank page. You get info page options. And back to this. This is the screen that I would personally leave this on. This is your oil pressure. So if I give it a little bit of gas, you can see the oil pressure starts to go up. This is your coolant temperature, this is your fuel gauge, and then this is your battery voltage gauge. And you can see, I'm not sure if the GoPro will see it, but you can see you got your gas pump right there, and it's pointing to the left-hand side. That means you fill the vehicle up on the left-hand side. It doesn't just go for a Chevy. If we were in like a Volvo product or something, it goes for the same thing. So if it's pointing to the left of your gas pump, that means you fill the vehicle up on the left-hand side. If it's pointing towards the right, you fill the vehicle up on the right-hand side. So even though this does not have the center console, which you can see right here, this is a, what's this be, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 passenger Tahoe. This one gives you a $250 credit because you do not get the center console. So this is, again, an 8-passenger vehicle. We'll get to this in a second, but even though you do not get the center console, you still get this transmission thing. So push to go into park, pull back to go into reverse, push to go into neutral, pull back to go into drive, and then push L to go into low. And then the plus is to upshift and the minus is to downshift. We'll go back into park. Just to the right of that, you have your 8-inch infotainment screen with wireless Apple CarPlay as well as wireless Android Auto connectivity. So even though you're getting an LS, and even though you do not get the big 10.2-inch screen, I believe it is, on every other trim level of the Tahoe, you still get wireless Apple CarPlay and you still get wireless Android Auto. It's just you get an 8-inch screen. And then the Tahoe LS is the only Tahoe trim level that does not get the digital gauge cluster either. So you get the analog gauges as well as this 8-inch screen. So if you guys get like the LT or something, then you get the digital gauge cluster and you get the 10.2-inch screen. So just keep that in mind. However, this is the cheapest variant of the Tahoe. So one thing I really like about all Tahoes, doesn't matter if it's an LS or if it's a high country, you get this little leather padded thing right here. So it makes it very easy to like set your finger on and go throughout the screen, which is, I think, is very nice. You can see it makes it very easy. So while you're driving, you can set one finger here and then you can, you know, navigate throughout the screen as you would like. And then if you guys want to go or exit out of Apple CarPlay, you have this home button down here. So if I click on the home button, this brings me into my Chevy infotainment screen. So you got audio stuff, phone stuff. This is a Wi-Fi capable vehicle, so you can go into your Wi-Fi stuff. You can go in between your different settings. Like I said, you get wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. You can go in between your trailer lighting stuff. You can go in between your OnStar services stuff. You can bring your climate control up to this screen so you can control the front. You can control the rear. Go back, press the home button, brings me back to this screen. You can go into your rear climate, and then you can press this camera button right here, which pops up your rear view camera. This is the only other camera view that you get, which is basically like a different guidance line to back you up to a trailer. So that's about it for that screen. I guess one more thing, or a couple more things I'll point out, is that this is the current temperature, and then that's the current time. Really, that's about it for that screen. You get 2 HVAC vents. And one thing that differs this from like a Tahoe High Country or a Premier is that on the Tahoe High Countries and Tahoe Premiers, you have a door right here, whereas on the Tahoe LS, you do not get a door. This is always open, but this is a great spot that you can set your sunglasses if you'd like, and then below that, you have your hazard button. That's what your hazards sound like. 2 HVAC vents. This is your volume knob, this is your tuning knob, but you can also control the screen with this knob as well. So I'm twisting the knob and you can see that orange outline. That is me twisting to the right. I'm going to twist back to the left, and you can see I can select, so you can see this check mark right here. Right now I have the audio outline, so I'm going to press this button and then it selects it pretty much and brings you into that screen. Got your back button, brings you back. This is to go back on a track, this is to go forward on a track, this is your home button, and this is your back button. Down here, you have your climate control stack. This is a tri-zone climate control vehicle. And then all the way down here, you get a USB-C port, you get a USB-A port, and a 12-volt power outlet. So that's about it for your center stack. You get a nice leather wrapped dash, you get some wood grain trim, you get some aluminum trim. This is for your forward collision alert. It'll flash in red. And then you get a lockable glove box over here with tons of storage space. You can fit your owner's manual, napkins, straws, sausage McMuffins, hamburgers, junior bacon cheeseburgers, whatever you want to set in there, you can. Like I said, you do not get the center console, so that is a $250 credit that you get. So you get 2 cup holders here, you get some miscellaneous storage space, some more miscellaneous storage space. You get a great spot you can set your phone. This is nicely padded, and then opening this up, you get a good amount of storage space down in there as well for whatever you need to set. And then if you guys want to turn this into a seat, all you got to do is fold this back up and it turns into a seat. Right here, this is just your rear view mirror. I don't believe that it is auto dimming, so it's just a regular rear view mirror. And then you get these functions right here for your OnStar stuff. This lets you know if your passenger airbag is on or off. The driver gets a light, passenger gets a light. If I press on this button now, when the door is open, the interior lights will not turn on. If I press, so that's how you can tell the interior lights will not turn on when the door is open. You get a little amber light. Click that again. Now when I open up the door, the interior lights will turn on. Let's take a look at our visor. You get a vanity mirror with 2 vanity lights, which is very nice, as well as a spot you can set your registration, some money, parking ticket, whatever you want to right here, as long as it's a small paper product. Let's see if the visor will slide. So it does slide. Very, very nice. I like that. I'm gonna leave it open because the sun is in my face at the moment. This is your mic pickup for your Bluetooth phone. And then passenger, same vanity mirror, vanity lights, O-poop handle. Driver also gets an O-poop handle. And that's about it for these front seats. I have a new segment now that I call Kenny's Key Features, and I'm gonna read over some key features that I thought were pretty cool on this particular Tahoe. So this does have the bass 6-speaker sound system that actually sounds pretty decent. So I went into the different sound settings and it actually sounded a lot better once I adjusted for the bass and the mid-range and the treble. It sounded a lot better than it did just with all that stuff, you know, in its standard mode. So it actually sounds pretty dang good. Not quite as good as the Bose sound system, but it'll do you just fine, trust me. This also is a Wi-Fi capable vehicle. You get an 8-way power driver and an 8-way power front passenger seat. I do want to go over some safety features, so bear with me here for a second. So some safety and security features include automatic emergency braking, IntelliBeam, which is your automatic high beams, front pedestrian braking, forward collision alert, lane keep assist with lane departure warning, following distance indicator. You get a rear view camera, front and rear park assist, and a theft deterrent system. I will throw up the government safety rating. So the overall vehicle score is a 4-star rating. Front crash for the driver is 5 stars. Front crash for the passenger is 4 stars. Your side crash stuff for both your front and rear seats is 5 stars, and then your rollover you get 3 stars. And I'm gonna throw the rest of the window sticker on screen so you guys can take a look at exactly what comes with the interior, the exterior, the connectivity, performance and stuff. But I do wanna talk about the total MSRP. So the MSRP of this particular 2023 Tahoe LS is $59,645. Let me know what you guys think of that price in the comment section down below. But I do want to show you guys what's going on in those rear seats before we get into the driving portion of the review. So taking a look at the rear door panel, it looks pretty much the exact same as the front door panel. One thing that I really like about the rear door panel is that you do get an unlock and lock button. So if you guys leave your kids in the car while you run into the grocery store, the second row passengers can press the lock button. They can lock up the vehicle. Once they see you walking back out and about to get into the vehicle, they can unlock the vehicle again. Aluminum door handle, some wood trim, nicely padded armrest, accent colored stitching, a great spot you can set a phone, and miscellaneous storage space at the bottom of the door panel. Here are your rear seats. Again, this is a cloth vehicle, so no leather. This is the bench seat configuration. You can slide this forward, slide this backward, recline the seat. Pretty much everything that you can do with the captain's chairs you can do with this. It's just that the center seat is connected to this seat. So I believe it's a 60-40 configuration here. But step into the interior, you get a seat back pocket behind the driver's seat, seat back pocket behind the passenger seat. Like I said, this is a tri-zone climate control vehicle. So here are your climate control settings for your second and third row passengers. You get a 120 volt household power outlet, as well as 2 USB-C ports. So you got one here, one right there, and that is what that looks like. You get a center fold down armrest. You got 2 cup holders and a spot you can set your phone. Here are your HVAC vents, one right there, one right there. Dome lights for your second row passengers. You get a great spot you can set your dry cleaners here as well as there. And I'm gonna put that back up. Get an O-poop handle for your second row passenger, another O-poop handle located here. And you can see all the leg room in the world. I got all the knee room in the world. I got all the headroom in the world. I'm 5'9". I'm adjusted behind myself, and I still have tons and tons of leg room, knee room, and headroom. But that's really about it for this seat. I'll show you guys the third row seats. So all you gotta do is, I believe, pull up on this twice, and that will move. And I'll show you guys the third row seats. So I'm gonna sit behind this seat here. This seat is scooted forward a little bit, and you can see I've got plenty of leg room, plenty of knee room, and still a good amount of headroom here for your third row. I think I'd still be comfortable, but I'd probably scoot this seat back, second row seat back just a little bit more so I could fit there, and then I'd still probably be comfortable back here. But you got to you got to make some compromises for the second and third row, so your third row passenger is comfortable as well as your second row passenger is comfortable. But you got a cup holder right here, some miscellaneous storage space, USB-C port for your third row passenger. Over here you get another USB-C port, another cup holder, and some more miscellaneous storage. One thing I like about the USB-C ports in the third row is that you get a little ambient lighting around the USB-C port, so you can plug in at night and not have to worry about like trying to find it. But you know, we've talked about the exterior, we've talked about the performance, and now we've talked about what's going on here in the interior of the Tahoe LS. So I want to see what this thing's like to drive, as I'm assuming you guys do as well. So I'll see you guys in the driver's seat. All right, guys, and now on to the driving portion of the review. And that Ram Limited looks pretty dang good in my opinion over there. But man, this thing just rides really, really well. And I know I talk about the rides of the Tahoes and the Suburbans in every video that I do like this, but it doesn't matter if you get the mag ride with the air suspension, or you just get the standard premium smooth ride suspension. They all ride so well, and they all handle really well as well. So you'd be surprised at how well, you know, this behemoth of a vehicle handles around a turn, man. You can go around a turn at a decent clip of speed, and this thing will still remain very flat around the turns. And I say this in every video that I do with the Tahoe or a Suburban or a Yukon, any of the above. But man, they all handle so surprisingly well, and they handle bumps very well. They handle turns very well. It's just really surprising when, you know, you've never driven one of these things before, and you get into it and you go around a turn and you're like, how fast did I just go around that turn? And this thing had no problem doing it. So these things handle well. The suspension is fantastic, even here without the MagneRide and without the MagneRide and the Air Ride suspension together. I'm not sure what's going on here, but looks like everybody's turning around, all the dump trucks and stuff. So I'm assuming there's probably going to be a decent amount of traffic up here, but I guess we'll find out in a minute. But I mean, that's pretty much what you guys are going to be doing in one of these, really, is just, you know, daily driving it. So you're going to be sitting in traffic, you're going to be cruising on the highway, you're going to be, you know, accelerating, you're going to be braking. I mean, obviously you're driving, you're accelerating, and you're braking, but hopefully we get a green light here. Barely put my foot down. Damn, that, do you guys see that? That guy totally just ran that red light, but like, it was red for like quite a bit of time as that dump truck ran that light. But I guess who's gonna win that battle, right? The dump truck or, you know, one of these civilian cars? Obviously the dump truck. But acceleration in this 5.3 liter is phenomenal. Now, yes, it doesn't get the greatest fuel economy. However, if you guys want something that gets really good fuel economy, get the 3 liter Duramax. You can get 26 miles per gallon on the highway with the 3 liter Duramax, and I believe like 20 miles per gallon in the city, and that's even with 4-wheel drive. So the Duramax gets phenomenal fuel economy. However, you know, you got to pay a little bit extra for the Duramax, and you also got to pay more for diesel fuel rather than regular gasoline. So, you know, you just kind of got to weigh your options. This thing gets a little bit worse fuel economy, but it's the standard engine. You don't got to pay more for the additional Duramax or the additional cost of fueling up the vehicle. So it's kind of like, okay, well, which one do you guys want to do? Still, the 5.3 liter has plenty of get up and go, whether you're, is this guy gonna pull out? Whether you're on the highway, you need some passing power, or if you're just, you know, day-to-day traffic from a stop and a go, it's got plenty of get up and go, and it also sounds really good as well. So if you guys like the V8 sound, then you're gonna want to get the 5.3 liter V8. But I believe the only way, or the only next trim level, if you guys want like the 6.2 liter V8, would be to get up to, I believe, the Z71. So you can't get the 6.2 on the LT. I believe you do have to step up to the Z71, and then you get the option of the 5.3 or the 6.2. But like I said, the 5.3 has got plenty of get up and go. If you guys want more power, you're gonna have to get the 6.2, and again, the 6.2 is an additional cost because you got to step up to a higher trim level. But the LS is the great alternative for those of you guys who, you know, you don't want to break the bank with a vehicle that has 3 rows and plenty of storage space that can also tow, but you guys want something that's nice. You get wireless Apple CarPlay, you get wireless Android Auto, you get a couple different safety features, you know, forward-facing sensors, rear view camera. This is the great alternative to, you know, the fanciness of like a Tahoe Premier, or, you know, even the LT. The LT, you get leather. This thing, you just get cloth seats. So this is like, you know, this is the stripper Tahoe, but still, I mean, I think it's worth it if you guys have a big family and you guys also tow stuff. We'll do a little on-ramp acceleration here. I guess I'll floor it. And like I said, guys, you got plenty of acceleration to get you guys merged onto the highway. It doesn't look like this guy's gonna want to let me into the lane, but the lane ends, so I'm gonna have to hit the brake. Anyway, those are the kinds of drivers that you got to deal with when you're driving on the highway. So yes, this thing, I could have absolutely, you know, accelerated around him, no problem. So just keep in mind that you guys do have the power to accelerate around people like that if you need to. It's just I wasn't going to. It wasn't worth it for me. But take a listen. I'll be quiet here for 5 seconds. Take a listen to what it sounds like at 60 miles an hour. Very, very quiet. So like I said, I don't have the radio on, I don't have the HVAC on, so it's very well insulated from the outside world, even for this thing being an LT. But I'm going to show you guys the handling around this turn. We'll go about like maybe 35 around the turn, but like I said, it handles so well. Just take a look how flat that this thing can go around a turn. It's insane for a vehicle of this size to be able to handle like it does. And if you guys want something that handles even better, you're gonna have to step up to another trim level, but you can get the Magna Ride. So very good suspension even here with the premium smooth ride suspension. We'll do a little mild acceleration here. And just look how quickly it accelerates up to the speed limit. The shifts are crisp. This bump, or this bridge right here, has plenty of bumps. You can see kind of all the potholes, and it soaks up those bumps so well, man. Like, the suspensions on Tahoes and Yukons is just really good. And again, if you get the premium smooth ride suspension, the Magna Ride, they just progressively get better. But here's another handling thing, and it just remains so flat. It's crazy how well it handles turns, and just the handling on this thing is phenomenal. The sound system, like I said, you do have to go in and adjust a few different settings, but you can actually get this sound system to bump, and you get a good amount of bass, you get good clarity. It's not quite as good as the Bose sound system, obviously, but you guys will have no problem, I don't think, with this sound system, unless you guys are like audio aficionados. Then you guys are going to want to get the Bose sound system. But for what it is, it's a great vehicle. You know, it handles well, it's very comfortable to sit in, it's very comfortable to drive, it's very easy to steer this thing into and out of a parking lot. You know, it doesn't have all like the fancy safety features that you'd find on like a Premier or a High Country. You don't get blind spot monitoring or anything like that. But this is a great vehicle for those of you guys who want to spend less than $60,000 on a vehicle with 3 rows that can tow 7,700 pounds. So, you know, this is a great alternative to those other high-priced Tahoes and Yukons and all the other stuff on the market that competes with the Tahoe. So this is a great alternative. This is an affordable Tahoe. This is the most affordable Tahoe that you can get, and I approve of it. I think it's very comfortable. I think it's got all the features that you really need. You know, 10 years ago, this was like a fully loaded vehicle. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, compared to, you know, the vehicles nowadays with all the features that you can get, this is a great alternative to those of you guys who don't want to spend, you know, $80,000 on a vehicle. This thing, you know, it's got all the features that you really need, and it's can tow your family and tow your boat and stuff like that. It's got plenty of space, so this is a great alternative again to those really high priced vehicles. But you know, that's it for today's video. If you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to give this video a big thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. Like I said, I'm really trying to hit 10,000 subscribers, and I cannot do that without your guys' help. So if you guys would take a second, give the video a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. But I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.